All right, week 3 of the college football season has definitely passed us by. What's going on, guys? My name is Stuart, V for Venom Sports, and you know we spit that fire. What a weekend for the SEC West. The usual drama started this week with Auburn and LSU in a game that came all the way down to field goal as the time elapsed in that particular game, and that game in no form or fashion answered the questions that will be asked down the stretch no more than anything else. You know, I think this is the usual Auburn LSU game, the usual drama, the usual 1 to 5 point differential, winning LSU's favor. I think this game benefited LSU more than the victory would have benefited Auburn. I think both of these teams needed to win this game, but I think LSU needed this game way worse than Auburn did. And I'm going to tell you why. You know, I'll take nothing away from LSU. I think Ed Orgeron has done an incredible job of molding this team together, and these guys finding ways to win football games. Miami, huge win. I think Miami's a pretty talented team. Auburn, you go down to Jordan-Hare Stadium and you find a way to win. No, it was not pretty by any means, but you find a way to win and build that confidence and build that quarterback's confidence up. Speaking of which, one thing LSU does have to keep in mind, though, is they're going to have to pay a little more attention to these stats that are not damning right now, but could become as such down the stretch. 15 for 34 quarterback play. Just not incredible. I mean, hit the big 71-yard pass off of busted coverage. An incredible play. But when you look at, you know, the production for the most part, that can be kind of frightening down the stretch. As I look at the futures for both Auburn and LSU, I see a much better upside for Auburn. Auburn has a lot more talent at the running back position. They play incredible on defense. They have a stretch that, you know, going into the Georgia game, a very manageable stretch. Now, not easy, but very manageable. Home games against Texas A&M. They got to go visit Mississippi State. But in the next coming weeks, you know, you got Arkansas at home. You got Southern Miss at home. You have Tennessee. All of those games you should win. Ole Miss. Ole Miss plays incredible on offense, but all of those games you have a very, very high percentage chance to win. The two games that I think could be the second trap game for Auburn could be Texas A&M and Mississippi State. We will see how that progresses as the season goes along. Now, when I look at LSU's future, it's the same. It's equally opposite in the brutality department. Auburn's schedule doesn't really get especially brutal until November when they have those 2-week stretches with Alabama and Georgia. Now, LSU has a similar stretch with Alabama and Georgia, but the difference is now they do have the advantage of being able to play Alabama and Georgia at home, but that game is sandwiched in between Mississippi State. Those games are sandwiched in between Mississippi State. Now, when I look at those 3 games, you know, based on what I have seen from LSU so far, I just don't see them escaping that stretch 3-0. I think 1-2 maybe. And that's them beating Mississippi State. I just don't see, based on what I saw against Auburn, because Auburn just missed an opportunity to pull away from them. I just don't see the types of teams that Alabama and Georgia have. I don't see them fooling around with LSU for a long time. I see those games being pretty decisive. You know, so when I look at the futures of these two teams as we move forward in this year of college football, I see them going in different directions. I really can see with Auburn's progression. Auburn tends to hit that stride right about now. Leading into October, they hit a real nice stride where they get a good streak going on. They start to find their rhythm. LSU, I just don't see where. They're going to have to get off the 2.9 yards per carry boat, and they're also going to have to get off the 40% completion percentage boat in order to give themselves a chance. They really dodged a good opportunity to get blown away at Auburn, with Auburn basically doing kind of what I said they would. Auburn would have to do in order for LSU to win. Are the takeaways, not scoring in the red zone, and giving up crucial third downs. Otherwise, Auburn played pretty good defense. I think the linebacker play was stellar, led by Deshaun Davis. He did an incredible job anchoring that middle linebacker position. Teams are going to have a lot of trouble running the ball against Auburn. The intermediate passes Auburn has to get a little bit better at, and those back shoulder throws defense they're going to have to get a little bit better at. And that comes with technique. They have a lot of inexperienced guys in the secondary. Have a few guys playing out of position. I think the future is bright for Auburn. I mean, all is not lost. I think they got their feet wet, and as far as what's to come in the SEC West, they have a very manageable schedule leading up to the Georgia game, which they have to go out to Athens and take on the Georgia Tigers, the Georgia Bulldogs, who have looked incredible. However, the competition level has not been where I want to see more resistance against Georgia. I want to see a team that can put up some resistance so we can get a true gauge of how this team plays under duress. The same way for Alabama. I think this week against Texas A&M will obviously be the first formidable test, in my opinion, for Alabama. Texas A&M has a pretty good offense. Their defense plays a little bit more sound maybe than they have in times past. They took Clemson to the limit down in College Station. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these things play out. But I really see Auburn hitting a stride. I think they're going to do very well this week against Arkansas, who struggle with North Texas. Then the next week they have Southern Miss. So we can look forward to seeing the Auburn team gel identity-wise. I think Jarrett Stidham comes on and really starts to accentuate himself as a high-tier quarterback in the SEC. And, we'll just see how this plays out. But definitely all is not lost. Auburn controls their destiny as they did last year, because honestly I think LSU will lose at least 2 SEC games. So we will see how that works out. Big shout out to all my subscribers, man, all 6 of them. Want to thank you all for the support early in my channel. And once again, my name is Stuart V for Venom Sports, and we spit that fire, and I love SEC football and college football in general. Y'all take it easy.